Hi, this is Randomness with 5 Cups of Sugar, and today I'll be doing a novel review for A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandanna. Sorry if I pronounce names wrong. Um, I listened to this book as an audiobook, which is about 10 hours unabridged. I really liked the audiobook narrator, Samara McLaren. Her voice was very calming, sleepy, and melancholic. She had a slower pace of reading, so that was more relaxing. In terms of a summary, the book is basically following a female main character whose name is Sarah Swan. She is in her 30s and is one of two of the most powerful witches in Britain. Sarah's great aunt, Jasmine, runs an inn that Sarah previously has enchanted with different spells. Suddenly, Sarah stumbles upon Great Aunt Jasmine's body and figures out that she recently died. And so she listens to this witch, Clemmy, who has been cursed in a fox form and knows many random spells and uses one such spell of resurrection, which is a forbidden spell. So Sarah does succeed in resurrecting her great aunt Jasmine. However, the cost of that resurrection was that Sarah lost her magic and was cast out of the guild for the witches in Britain. Then, basically, over 15 years, Sarah runs the inn with her aunt Jasmine. Um, and some of Sarah's previously cast spells on the inn linger, and she still can use a little bit of magic. So she does have a little bit of magic left, but it's nowhere near as much as the vast amount that she had before. So even simple, smaller spells are extremely difficult for her and uh, basically tax her a lot more than it used to. The book basically follows Sarah's journey to regain her magic while looking at themes of like found family and basically she's forging new bonds as well as strengthening her existing relationships. In terms of genre, this book is fiction. It's also a cozy fantasy following witches and a bit of a romance element too. For characters, I liked the characters in the story. Um, they were realistic and flawed, and there is character development. I really liked the interpersonal relationships between the characters, and also it had, just like her other book that she wrote for the Irregular Society of Witches. Um, the author did include some LGBT relationships, which I liked. And it was nice because I appreciated how it was integrated very naturally. I also liked how Sarah, who's the main female character, was older than the typical fantasy female main characters for the majority of the books that I've read since she was in her 30s instead of like a female main character who's like 17 to like 19, maybe in her early 20s at most, which is what I've noticed in more of the books that I've read previously. So this was refreshing and much more relatable. I also liked how her life was messier in a realistic kind of way. Like how the inn is breaking down because she can't just use her magic to make repairs. And she's trying to keep up with the repairs manually or with like minor spells, but she can't use her magic to the extent that she would have been able to in the past easily. So inevitably, she can't repair everything or ever finish her to-do list between like running the inn and doing repairs. And I like how that it's realistic because to-do lists are never ending as an adult. And the book mentions things like achy body pains, like so relatable, like, oh, my back hurts, my knees, ah. Yeah, so I like that part. And then I like how there's cynical elements for characters as they are adults and they've experienced life and they go beyond the naivety of youth and young adulthood that typical fantasy main characters would do because they're younger. But this is a lot more realistic, so you got like cynicism from experience in life. And I just also like at the same time, you have a juxtaposition of like the older adult characters. So like Matilda and Aunt Jasmine are still optimistic and take things in stride. So I do like that you have different like stages of life represented. And I like the whimsy of the characters and that the main and side characters in are weird and quirky and that they're their authentic selves with each other and they embrace it. And I like the concept of a found family between the characters who all live at the inn together. And there's like just a sense of comfort there. And they kind of just like end up in their own kind of flow. And I like that. The story also has characters from different backgrounds, which you kind of explore in the book, so it feels more like lived in a sense, where it's like they all have their own backstory basically, but they all came together and became a family. I like how the book addresses more sensitive topics like racism, sexism, discrimination because of neurodivergence, and sexuality, and challenges these topics as well, um, as shows the resilience of the characters who deal with the intersectionalism of these factors of their identity and embrace who they are over time through character developments, as well as supporting each other through hard times. And it's just endearing and heartwarming, honestly, to find a place where you belong while being your authentic self, and everyone else there is being their authentic selves and not being othered like how you would be othered in society. But instead, you just have a group of people who are their authentic selves together and accept each other and love each other as they are, and they don't have to perform or anything. And it doesn't matter about that at all for their backgrounds or anything. It's just love. I love it. The book really delves into the theme that you don't have to do things alone or suffer in silence alone because the right people who love and support you can make all the difference, and that it's okay to be yourself no matter what that means. In terms of like the romance part of the book, I didn't quite enjoy that as much as other novels that have romance that I've read. In comparison to those, the romance between Luke and Sarah is okay. It's kind of lukewarm compared to the other novels I've read. I like how the relationship between Luke and Sarah is more realistic as an adult relationship. And but I just didn't feel as many sparks, yearning, or chemistry compared to other romance novels I've read. In terms of plot, it's pretty decent. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the most stellar, but I wouldn't say it's terrible either. I think it was pretty good. Like, I honestly, the plot I really liked up till the last few chapters, just kind of when it went a little downhill. But in general, the plot is basically the book is witchy, it's magical, it's cozy. It's not like a slice of life kind of cozy where nothing happens. It still has a plot with characters who have different motivations and they do have character development. And I like how it tackles sensitive issues in a way that feels so natural and easy, even though that's not an easy task to achieve, especially in a more cozy kind of novel in general, in my personal opinion. Um, there are some tense moments, so it's not like mindless, just to chill kind of cozy. There are some tense moments, but the book is still cozy enough to not be like extremely stressful throughout the story. So it's the kind of book you don't need to have your brain on 100% in order to read it. The Inn is basically a group of people who were outcast in societies who band together to create a found family. And I loved how it reinforces that it's okay to be yourself and to be weird because the people worth your time will love and accept you the way you are. So yeah, I did like the plot in general, except the ending was compared to how I thought it was heading. So in terms of like a happy ending check, yes, it's a happy ending, but with a hint of melancholy. So it's not exactly what you would expect, and that's why I thought the plot declined in the last few chapters of the book, or else I would have rated it higher for the overall rating, which I'll tell you soon. But yeah. So is it in my list of favorite books? No. I mean, it's good, but it's not the same level as those books for me. I don't know how to put it into words. It just seems like something was lacking. And I don't know. It's just like up until the last few chapters, I thoroughly enjoyed the book, and then the ending was just not completely satisfying. I just don't want to spoil it for you. That's why I'm not saying why it wasn't satisfying. So overall, I would probably rate it an 8 out of 10. I would recommend this book, and I really like the works of author Sangu Mandanna because she writes cozy, magical fantasy stories that are witchy, that still have a plot and deep meaning and themes that really ring true. But I did enjoy her other novel better than this one, which was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I'll also do a review on later. So that's my review for A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandanna. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Anyways, take care, and I hope everyone is well.